Let's get quiet for a moment. I want you to think about the last time you checked your bank account. Not to pay a bill, but just to look, to see what was possible. For a lot of us, that feeling, that sense of possibility is gone. It's been replaced by a different kind of math, a calculation of pure survival. We keep hearing the phrase cost of living crisis, but I think we need to be more direct, more honest about what's happening. We've moved past a crisis. We've crossed the line. The cost of living has become so high that for a massive and growing number of people, the act of living, not thriving, just living, is becoming impossible. This isn't about things being a little tight. This is about a fundamental breakdown in the basic contract of society that if you work hard, you can afford a roof, food, stability, and a little bit of a future. That contract is being shredded. And today I want to talk about what that actually feels like in the bones of everyday life. Let's start with the math, because the math doesn't lie. Take a median income. In so many places, that's about $55,000 a year. After taxes, health insurance, maybe a tiny retirement contribution if you're lucky, you're bringing home roughly $3,200 a month. Now build the life. Not a fancy life. A basic one. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment. Not in a major city core, but within commuting distance. That's $1,700 minimum. You've just spent 53% of your take-home pay on shelter. The old rule was 30%. That rule is a relic, a museum piece. Add utilities, $250. Groceries, the bare essentials, $400. A car payment on a used, reliable car with insurance, $450. Gas just to get to that job, $180. And the student loan for the degree you were told you needed to get that job, $300. Do the addition. $1,700 plus $250 plus $400 plus $450 plus $180 plus $300. You're at $3,280. You had $3,200. You are officially $80 in the red, and you haven't bought a shampoo, a cup of coffee, paid a doctor's copay, replaced a pair of shoes, given a birthday gift, saved a single dollar for an emergency, or done anything that brings a flicker of joy or connection. This is the architecture of modern impossibility. It's not a budget, it's a high-wire act with no net. The anxiety isn't a side effect, it's the foundation. You are one flat tire, one minor illness, one unexpected bill away from a financial spiral. And you know it. Every single day, you know it. This math explains the most universal symptom, the grind with no gain. People are working longer hours. They have side hustles, gig economy jobs. Productivity has soared for decades. But all that extra work, all that extra effort is being instantly vacuumed up by these fixed, non-negotiable costs of merely existing. You run faster and faster just to stay in the same increasingly precarious spot. So what does can't live actually look and feel like? For most, it's not the dramatic homelessness we see in headlines, though that is the brutal, logical endpoint of this crisis. For the vast majority, it's a quiet, daily series of impossible choices. It's a slow erosion of what a life is supposed to be. First, there's the shelter sacrifice. It's adults in their 30s and 40s, with roommates, not for fun, but for survival. It's the 30-year-old in a childhood bedroom meme that stopped being funny and just became reality. It's the skilled professional, a teacher, a nurse, a mechanic, spending 60–70% of their income on rent, making the concept of saving for a home feel like a fairy tale told to someone else. You are permanently renting your life from someone else. Then, the nutrition compromise. This isn't just skipping a meal. It's the strategic, calculated purchase of calories over nutrition. It's the bag of pasta that costs $1 versus the bag of spinach that costs $5. It's the heat or eat dilemma facing seniors on fixed incomes. Your health becomes a budget line item you can no longer afford. You feed the machine of your body the cheapest fuel possible and hope it doesn't break down. This leads to perhaps the most insidious effect, the social and familial erosion. Let's get dinner becomes a moment of quiet panic. You start to dread text messages from friends because they might involve spending money. Weddings, vacations, weekend trips, you become a ghost, quietly opting out of the milestones and connections that make us human. You lie. I'm busy, you say. Maybe next time. And for a generation, the very idea of having children has transformed from a hopeful milestone into a terrifying financial equation. It's not, can we be good parents? It's, can we afford the hospital bill for the birth? Can we afford daycare, which is often a second rent payment? Can we afford to give them any kind of future? People are being priced out of their own families. Finally, the healthcare delay, that nagging pain. You Google home remedies, that routine checkup you know you should get. You'll schedule it next year when things are better. A toothache becomes an emergency root canal because you waited until you couldn't stand it. When your deductible is thousands of dollars, your physical well-being becomes a gamble. You hope your body doesn't betray you because you can't afford for it to. We have to name the forces behind this. It's not just inflation. That was the match. The fire is burning on a pile of dry kindling that's been stacked for decades. It's housing as an investment, not a home. When large funds buy up neighborhoods and platforms turn apartments into short-term rental hotels, housing stops being shelter and becomes a financial asset. People get squeezed out. Rents soar. It's stagnant wages versus soaring profits. For 50 years, worker productivity has skyrocketed. The profits from that increased work have gone to shareholders and executives, not back to the paychecks of the people generating the wealth. The link between hard work and fair compensation has been severed. It's the shrinking public foundation. Things that used to have robust public support, college, healthcare, transportation, have been deliberately defunded and privatized. Your $300 student loan payment is a privatized tax for a public good. Your $6,000 deductible is a private toll booth on the road to staying alive. And it's consolidation and shrinkflation. Fewer companies control more of every market. With less competition, they can raise prices and shrink package sizes simultaneously. You are paying more for less with nowhere else to go. So where do we go from here? I don't have a 5-point plan that will fix everything tomorrow. This is a deep structural problem. But the absolute first step is the most important: reframing the story. This is not your fault. You are not lazy. You are not bad with money. You are not entitled for wanting a stable home and to not have to choose between medication and groceries. You are navigating a system that is fundamentally broken for anyone who isn't already wealthy. The language of budgeting tips and avocado toast is a distraction. It's designed to make you look inward at your own spending instead of outward at a system that is rigged. You cannot budget your way out of a math equation that starts with you already in the red. The solution isn't just individual, it has to be collective. It's about demanding policy that treats housing as a human right, not a casino chip. It's about supporting unions and fighting for wages that are actually tied to living costs. It's about rebuilding that public foundation: healthcare, education, transit, so the weight isn't crushing every individual alone. But it starts with solidarity, with talking about it, honestly, without shame. If you're feeling this, you are not alone. Look around. It's the barista, the nurse, the teacher, the delivery driver, the office worker. It is the defining economic reality for our time. When we say the cost of living, we should be talking about the cost of a life, of connection, of health, of family, of a little bit of security and joy. Right now, for too many, that cost is infinite. It's unpayable. We have to start calling it what it is. It's not high. It's not a crisis. It's a failure, and recognizing that failure is the first necessary step toward building something new, something that actually lets people live.